All right, so we got 5 NBA stars disappointing everybody so far. Hold on, I don't like that it's black. And I already see Tyrese Halliburton. I'm not gonna lie, he's been disappointing. Hopefully he's not on this list because if you know I'm a big fan of Tyrese Halliburton. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. At the time of this recording, we were at 489. Let's get to 500. It's right there. Let's get this shit. Let's start.
Team is now approaching the 15 games played mark, which
Turn it up a little
means
bit.
there's still obviously a lot of basketball left to be played, but it also means that we've
I don't know
seen
why it
enough
does
early
that every
action to
time.
start drawing some conclusions and taking note of things that may or may not be a coincidence. We come into every season with a general idea of who the league's biggest stars are and what we should expect from them.
I don't like that he's
production-wise.
already
So when
showing
they
Tyrese
fail to hit
Halliburton,
those
bro.
marks, they inevitably disappoint, and that's exactly what we're here
He's
to
trolling me
discuss
at this
today.
point.
In this video, we're going to be discussing the 5 star players disappointing everybody so far this season, failing to come close to meeting the expectations placed on them. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even
All right. I'm not gonna lie, a good amount of you guys watching right now are not subscribed. So let's hit that button. You see that button right there? Let's hit that shit. All right, let's go.
but it also very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin.
Let's see.
The first
Oh,
star player that has been disappointing
Joel
everybody so far
Embiid.
this season is Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay.
To start here, I need to clear something up real quick. Joel
me hear.
Embiid has been under fire from fans in the media for weeks now, and while he absolutely does belong on this list today, I think a lot of
Yes.
people's supposed anger towards him is a bit misguided. Embiid is dealing with legitimate swelling in his knee that he
Yeah, let's not forget, Embiid is actually injured. We know how we like to criticize these players that they like to rest and all, but Embiid's actually hurt. Let's not forget that.
of last season and is nowhere near 100% healthy. He has missed all but 3 games
my
so
God.
far this year, and a lot of people seem to be under the impression that he's just being lazy and sitting out games because he doesn't want to play, which could not be further from the truth. Now, with all that being said, though, it is still very disappointing that things have gone down the way that they have.
Facts.
Hence the subject of today's video and his inclusion here. In the 3 games that Embiid has suited up for, he has looked like a shell of his former self, clearly not
Hey.
moving up and down the floor
Handoff,
as fluidly
showtime.
as we're used to seeing from him. His shooting touch was evading him completely, as he has scored just 13 points, then 20 points, then 11 points on poor shooting splits, and in the games that he's missed, the Sixers have looked like a train wreck too. The team is now at the bottom of the standings, sitting at 2-11, and have
Oh
already
my
dug
God.
themselves a
Peep this step back right here. Holy
now, at the
fuck.
bottom of the standing,
This one, not this one,
they
this
got
one.
2-11.
Nigga,
Have already
what?
dug themselves a deep
That's really like
hole,
James
with
Harden's step
this
back.
absolutely contributing to it. Speaking of which, the next star player disappointing everyone
76ers
so far
are just
this season
poverty, I
is
guess, at
Paul
this
George
point.
of the Philadelphia 76ers. The last thing I want to do is pile on the Sixers, but there's no doubt that George also belongs on this list.
Facts.
Paul George was
Sadly.
brought to Philadelphia for the purpose of being able to aid in the team's ability to compete on a regular basis while taking some of the pressure off of Joel Embiid to have to carry the group. Historically, the Sixers' on-off numbers have shown
I
that
ain't gonna lie, I think Maxi's been carrying the Sixers for like the past like year now at this point. Like I think Maxi's more of an asset than Joel Embiid, my nigga. Like the way Maxi's been
absolutely
carrying.
dominates when Embiid is on the court and then completely fall apart when he is off the court. And with Embiid's knee being a known issue in the offseason, the goal was to have Paul George be able to lead the way as a two-way all-star
Oh my
that can
God.
keep the team afloat even
nice
in the
ass
times
move,
that
boy.
Embiid misses. Well, so far that has not been what has happened at all, as the Sixers have a record of 2-11, as I mentioned before, and George himself has
Two
played
and a
pretty
wait. The Sixers have only won 2 fucking games. That nigga said they trying to get Cooper flag, bruh. 2-11 is
Sixers
crazy.
tenure. George is averaging just 16 points per game, shooting the ball 39% from the field and 31% from 3.
2 and
His overall
11?
shot selection and shot quality have been pretty poor, settling
That's a
for
bad look.
ill-timed, tightly contested jumpers, and he's also missed 6 games of his own because of a knee injury that he suffered in preseason. This was supposed to be the start of a new era for the Sixers this year, but instead, they're off to as bleak of a start as it gets. The next star player disappointed.
We knew he was gonna be on here. Listen, I can't defend you anymore, Tyrese Halliburton. You sold my parlays so many times. You're out here putting up fucking shitty numbers. My nigga, you've disappointed, bro. I was defending you when you was on Team USA right in the back of that fucking bench. My nigga, you're done. I'm no longer a fan of yours till you get your shit together, my nigga.
Everyone
it's
so
bad
far
at this
season
point.
is Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers.
Like, seriously, I
Halliburton's
can't
last
defend
year
you
has been
anymore.
a complete roller coaster with his campaign last year having stretches where he looked like the best point guard in the NBA. It also
Facts.
featured some stretches where he could not hit the side of a barn. He ended up leading the NBA in assists, though, and then in the playoffs, that roller coaster rode on all the way to the conference finals. He even got selected to be a part of Team USA at the Olympics this summer, signifying how highly regarded
he was so tough.
after last season. This year, though, Halliburton is off to a pretty rough start all around. His
Damn,
scoring has
Hallie.
taken a sizable dip down to just 16 points per game, including a game against the Knicks where he did not score a single point. He's shooting the ball just 39% from the field and 29% from three, which is well below where we're used to seeing his efficiency. His assist numbers are slightly down on the season, and the Pacers...
I'm not gonna lie, he's...
Don't trade alone. Trade with me live. Using one simple
We were doing
strategy.
so good. Give me to 1,000 subs.
Pacers have a losing record of 6-7 so far. The most incriminating metric of all, though, comes with his impact on the court versus how the team performs with him on the bench, as the Pacers get outscored by 1.9 points per 100 possessions with Halliburton on the floor, but actually outscore their opponents by 5.1 points per 100 possessions with him on the bench, making them 7 points better without him so far this year.
That's crazy.
That's
That's
just
a
not
crazy
something
ass
that should
stat
be
line.
true at all from a team's best player. For the Pacers to turn things around, they need him to get back to being the hyper-efficient, elite.
But let's not
playmaker that
forget, he had a crazy ass injury. Well, I think it was like a hamstring or some shit like that. So the injury may be fucking that nigga up. Let's not forget, he did have a crazy ass injury. Still no excuse for how he's fucking playing, though.
Because there's just too much competition elsewhere for them to succeed consistently without it. The next star player disappointing everyone
Zion
so far
disappoints
this
us
season
every
is
year.
Zion Williamson of the New
It's the same thing every year. We're not worried about Zion no
is
more.
starting to get to a point where people need to be more realistic about what his ceiling as a talent really is. When he was drafted, the world was his oyster, with upside to the moon after electrifying the college game at Duke
What happened
and
to
being
you,
selected
Zion?
#1 overall in 2019. Since then, his NBA career has been a mixed bag of flashes of greatness, injury woes, and inconsistency, and all of that is still on display in year 6 for him. Zion's had
Shit pisses
3
me
pretty
off
good
just
games
talking
this
about it.
year, 3 pretty bad games this year, and has missed the rest of the team's games due to injury. Even in the 3 games where he shot the ball well,
Shit's
he
pissing me off, this nigga
struggled
just
mightily
talking
on
about
defense
it,
for
bro.
the most part, which has, to a degree, negated the good that he's done, and overall, he's not dominating the paint as efficiently as he has in years past either, so his impact on winning games has been minimal. The team lost back-to-back games earlier to the Warriors, who were missing Steph Curry in both games, with Zion on the court out there,
Still
which
lost.
was a pretty tough look for the former #1 pick, and with the Pelicans starting their year 4-10 record-wise, it's getting harder and harder to buy.
I'm not gonna lie, the Pelicans could have a crazy ass restart of a rebuild. Just trade Zion, bro, and trade Brandon Ingram. Go get Cooper Flag. I hope they don't, cause y'all see how. I hope they don't, but y'all could get a crazy ass haul for Zion still. I guarantee you, still you can get a crazy ass fucking haul for that nigga. And then you got Brandon Ingram, like, just restart, bro. And you got CJ McCollum and DeJounte Murray over there. Just restart.
To Zion,
Just
he needs
restart.
someone that the team can legitimately build
Like
around.
dead ass, restart.
He's still a fringe all-star level talent, but we need to recognize that he won't be the superstar that he was drafted to be. And finally, the last star player disappointing
This one hurts. My nigga Jimmy. He's old though.
everyone so far this
Let's not
year
forget, the
is
nigga's like
Jimmy
34.
Butler of the Miami Heat. Butler has not been one to dominate the regular season in a while, but with him now being 35 years old, it's getting hard
Yo, my nigga's 35.
to simply bank on him
Oh my
being able
God.
to turn it on whenever
My
he
nigga's
wants,
35.
like he's done during the Heat's couple of trips to the NBA Finals with him at the helm. The Heat had an incredibly quiet offseason after a season last year where they finished in the play-in.
Yeah, they keep running back the
again,
same roster,
so not
bro.
a whole lot is different about this group, besides the fact that they now have an even worse version of Butler at the helm. Jimmy is averaging just 16 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game so far, playing more passive than ever, and the Heat aren't talented enough to just coast to that degree. They're below 500 at 6-7 to start the year, so just like last year, it's looking like they could potentially be headed to another trip to the play-in tournament, and at some point, the Heat can't keep finding themselves doing the same thing over and over again. Butler and Heat president Pat Riley butted heads a little bit in the offseason as well,
he gotta
so
go.
if things really start to head south, Butler himself could be found on the trade block as the trade deadline approaches.
Crazy.
And with that being said,
That's the end of the video. That's crazy. That nigga's 35. Holy, that's insane. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, to end the video. Subscribe. Hit the button. Subscribe. 500 by end of the year. 500 by end of the year. 500 by end of the year. We're out.